Hi, and welcome to another episode of whatever this is. Um, it's Thursday. I haven't really thought about this intro, but we're back. We're back. Basically, we've had another week of European football. We've had another week of Russian football. We've had another week of almost getting really happy and then getting disappointed. This week, I am joined once again by the one, the only, Maga Artem. Artem, how you doing?
I mean, hello.
Hello. Right. Artem's not actually MAGA. The only person he would vote for in any election is Alexander Kokorin. He doesn't care about any of that other shit. So, Artem, before we start, obviously, let's have a little bit of fun to wake you up. We've been, of course, been really engrossed in the U.S. over the past couple of days, right? So, how many of the U.S. states? I'm not going to ask you to name them, but how many of strength do you think you remember the names of? Like, how many U.S. states do you think you would remember the names of? Is it all 50? Is
How
it
long
like
how long have I got to how long have I got to say them?
You have time. There's no real constraint.
I'd say 30.
So yeah, something like that from me as well, probably. But we had too much knowledge of counties in the electoral college now. Anyway, after
That's the thing, the last couple of days have just been so wild. Like I feel like
yeah,
I've stared at the map of the US so much that I've
so
actually started to
much.
learn the geography a little bit. Like
Yeah,
if you'd
exactly.
asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd probably say five. And I probably would have named a lot of like do you ever get like I don't know if this happens with you, but it used to happen with me all the time where like I'd mix up states and cities. Like I'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
yeah, clearly Boston's a state or some shit like that.
yeah. No. Sometimes before this I used to get a little bit confused between Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, like which one is the state and which one is the city.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
of course, with that it's a battleground state now, so that's all gone. Anyway, we've had more football. International break is the Russian squad. Actually, we haven't even discussed that. We haven't got the tab up, but we will. Do you care about the international break? Because I still don't.
Of course, I care about the international break. The Nations League is the biggest tournament we're in right now. So
And the one we're actually doing well, like
that's the
respectively.
thing. If we were doing average, if we were picking up like okay, last international break we were doing average, but because
Right.
of the first one, we're in a good position. If we
Mm-mm.
were doing average, if we were like, if there was no chance of us going up or down, I'd be like, yeah, I don't really give a shit. But we have a real chance of going up into what's it called? Group A, League A,
Yeah,
whatever
whatever it
the,
is.
the, the best thing
Whatever
in
it is.
whatever this
Hey, look
is.
at that. Whatever this.
they
Hey.
said that they said the thing. That's what the fans are saying right now.
Yeah. The thing. Okay, we're just pulling up the squad. Let's get to it. Let's get to it right quick. This is the only tournament wherein Russia would actually make it out the hood. Um, so the squad is here, and the brilliant Russian Team Russia Twitter account decided to put the goalkeepers, the defenders, but forgot putting in the midfielders. There's still no midfielders over here, and I don't
But that's
actually
only
remember
because they
them.
didn't call up any midfielders.
Yeah, so like Zhirkov and Smolnikov are going to play in midfield. Dzyuba, Zabolotny, Sobolev, all of them, man, they're going to play in midfield. But we had
So
a, yeah, go on.
I was gonna say just while we're on the squad, like there's two kind of positions I want to discuss, right?
Right,
The goalkeepers. You
go
know,
on.
like a lot of people have been saying, oh yeah, they're not the right choice for goalkeepers and everything. What do you think? Do you think that someone in there should be replaced?
What is
And
it?
by who, if
Shunin,
so?
Guilherme, and Safonov. I would say replace. I want Dupin to be in there somewhere. I don't know who he would replace, but I want Dupin to be in there somewhere. Because see, that's the thing. Like usually, I would say I would replace Guilherme, but Guilherme actually was on a mad one. But all three of these goalkeepers, they make mistakes and they make mad saves. Like I think Dupin seems to be more reliable. I would like to see Dupin, even maybe Maximenko. Honestly, what do you think?
Yeah, Dupin or Maximenko, even Belenov if he was in, like, if Ufo were not terrible.
Yeah,
But yeah, like Guilherme, I think is the weakest out of those three keepers, but he's got the most clean sheets in the league, so I don't think you could drop him if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like I
No,
feel
that's.
like there'd be a real argument over like why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that's those three choices are fair. I'm happy to see Matvei Safonov finally in there. So
Yeah,
and then the second thing I wanted to discuss is if you scroll down a little bit and look at the forwards and the
right,
fact that they're all the same.
right.
Why? What
I
is
don't
going
know,
on?
man. I would like to see Chalov in there. I don't mind seeing Chalov in there. I think Anton Zabalotny has one good month of football, and if you want to put one good month of football, there's like 15 other players that you could call up, and I don't think Zabalotny is the point. Who else
No,
has
see,
Russia got up front? Because I
you
don't
know
even
what?
remember.
I get it. I get it if they decided, or sorry, Cherchev decided, okay, look, we're not going to call up Sobolev this time because he hasn't been great over the last month or whatever. Zabalotny has, so we're going to bring him in. Like, you'd get that. You'd be like, straight swap, understood.
Yeah,
But then, just for a change of style, Smolov, Chalov, anyone, it doesn't matter what kind of change of style, just something different.
yeah. No, that's fair.
So,
Who else do Russia have up front? Because I think I'm forgetting a couple, but
well, like if you're taking like if you want to consider Andrei Mostovoy as as a striker as well as
he's
midfielder, he's
Zenit's
in the
best
squad.
player. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
he's
whole
in the
squad, by
squad.
the
So
way,
he
let's read off the whole squad for the listeners who are probably confused as hell right now. Goalkeepers are Shunin, Gilherme, Safonov. Defenders are Zhikia, Divi, Fernandez, Evgeniev, Zhirkov, Karavayev, Smolnikov, Kudryashov, and Semenov. Midfielders are Yerokhin, Mostovoy, Ozdoev, Kuzyaev, Zobnin, Ionov, Kuchaev. Ionov is in the squad. Obliakov, Lisovoy,
he's always
Fomin.
in the squad.
Both of the Miranchuks, good to see both Miranchuks and Denis Terishev back. And then the forwards are Dzyuba, Zabalotny, and Sobolev. I don't think Kuzyaev has done anything to start for Zenit or Russia, and I don't think Ionov has done anything to start for anybody in the past 2 years.
Oh, I
So
don't know if I agree with you there. Did you watch the Zenit match?
yeah, he didn't do much. Who? Kuzyaev I heard
Kuzyaev, I
good
thought he
things.
was good.
I would have preferred Mostovoy to start.
Okay, look, yesterday, Kuzyaev played much better than Nazdoyev, for example.
Yeah,
Like
true.
because Kuzyaev was actually like Kuzyaev made a few very good runs. In fact, when Mostovoy came on, I specifically remember this one run where him and Mostovoy were passing up and down the right side. Mostovoy gets the ball. Um, what's the name? Kuzyaev underlaps, gets a
Yeah,
cross in, but unfortunately Pepe Reina saves it.
yeah.
But like there was a few good moments. Like I think Kuzyaev. Look, he's not going to be a game changer in every game, but he's such a
Hmm.
solid player. I think he should definitely be in the Russia squad.
Right, that's fair. But like the main thing this time that people were excited about is that there's a few youth players. So I think Divi, Evgeniev, Mostovoy, Lisovoy, Fomin, these guys got like their Kuchaev as well. These guys got like their first call ups. So that's pretty good. It's good to see that Stanislav Cherchesov is getting in
Yeah,
the youth players, and I'm trying to find the junior team, right?
I'm happy to see Lisa Boy in it. I was happy to
Definitely happy
see
to see.
see our boy um Jacob post about it too.
Yeah, he's a friend of the show.
He's a friend. Lisa Boy is a friend of the show, and exactly.
Right. So this is the thing, right? I think this U21 lineup would beat the senior team. I think it's better. You got
I
Maximenko, Tiknisian, Golubov, Maslov, Krugovoy, Kulikov, Magib, Utkin, Umyarov, and Mardishvili, Makarov, Bakayev, Shapi, Lomovitsky, and Chalov. That's insane up front.
I actually agree with that first comment on the right there.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Seems to be some random weirdo. I don't know, man. I don't care about these
I think the senior
comments.
team would win, but just about. You know, like the reason I say that is because if you look at the defense of that under 21s team, I don't think,
It's a bit
sorry, under
sus.
23 team, yeah, it's a bit sus. Like, and I don't think that Kulikov and McKeev could, like, even if they played like a back five or anything, like when they're defending, don't think they could do much. I think in midfield they'd get overrun as well. Like Utkin and Umerov or Mardashvili, they're both really good players, but like just look at like Zobin Kuzev, Ozdoev, like you could realistically bring Miranchuk back a little bit. Either
Yeah,
one of the Miranchuks. Golovan's not in the side; he's injured, I think. But if they
yeah.
had Golovin as well, it's game over. Like,
Yeah,
um,
that's fair enough, actually. I don't know. I
so
feel like this second team has a lot more dynamism to it, which could cause.
see, no, but see, they have dynamism, but that dynamism would work against under 23 players. I feel like if you're bringing it into the senior team, like a lot of like you can't really put a value on experience.
Okay, well then here's the question. We are getting off the international break, guys. We didn't even plan to discuss this, but now we had a whole 10-minute segment on it. Where does this team you think finish in the league? And don't say, oh, it has no foreigners, so it'll be trash. Where do you think this finishes in the league? The
Um,
U23s.
my God. See, this is one of these things where it really depends on this and how they're going, like in the first couple of games in the season. Because I feel like, especially with younger players, especially when there's a big group of young players, like if they get into like bad form, it's really tough to pull themselves out. But assuming that they get a couple of results under their belt, I think that they could finish like 12th,
12th?
12th, maybe 11th. I
No,
don't
I
see
think
them.
they would be top 8 or 9.
I don't
They
think they
would.
would,
I
man.
think
I
they
did
would
like.
be. Nah,
I
you
think
hating. You hating.
no, it's not. It's not. Look, it's not to do with me not liking the players and not thinking that they're good players. I like. I'm a big believer that you need leadership, you need experience in any team, in any sport. And I just like what there's that saying you can't win with kids, and I don't necessarily agree that you can't like you can't win games, but I don't think you wouldn't be able to fuck them kids. Yeah, that's right. No, I couldn't imagine that they'd. I'll say 10th. I couldn't imagine
Okay,
they
fine.
kept better than 10th.
That I think you're still being a bit harsh, but that's fine. Let's get off the international break. The Russian Premier League is back. This was actually quite an interesting week. Rubin Kazan beat Arsenal 2. I think Rubin Kazan are really exciting, but they also lost yesterday to the one, the only SKA Khabarovsk. That goal that guy scored was insane as well. Fair play. Rostov beat Spartak Moscow. Mamayev and Eremenko combined for the most criminal goal in history. Akhmat beat Krasnodar. Sochi beat Lokomotiv. Ural beat Ufa. CSK beat Rotor. Dinamo Moscow and Tambov won in the most chaotic game of all time, and then Zenit finally got a win. So, what like in the past couple of weeks, we've seen Rubin, Spartak, Krasnodar, Lokomotiv, and Zenit all lose a game. All of them have lost. Like I think only CSK are the ones that have not lost in a while, and I think today they're going to play Feyenoord. Let's hope that goes well for them. But Adam, do you have anything to say about the league? Do you think CSK are top actually?
Yeah,
Imagine the
there.
scenes if Adolfo Gaich wins the league. Imagine the scenes.
I don't see it happening, but maybe. Um, like I think you just glossed over the Zenit win a little bit too much.
All
Like I
right,
think
fair play.
you need
Go
to
on.
discuss it a little bit more than just Zenit won a game. We were playing the Russian AC Milan and we beat them.
The Russian AC Milan. Oh my God. So we played the
It
Russian
was a
AC
it was a
Milan and Italy in the space of 3 days.
yeah, it was a big win, you know. Like just like Lovren and all of the team were posting on social media saying, you know, big win. This is it. We've turned it around.
The narrator voice should come on now and it should tell us that they didn't really turn it around. But yeah, see, Mostova and Yerokhin scored in this game, and we're going to talk about them too a lot. But Khimki are Khimki. You have to beat them. They still don't have a badge.
AC
So,
Khimki.
no, they're not AC Khimki. But anyway, listen, the thing we're seeing now, right, is we are starting to see gaps and differences form in the league. We're starting to see a big gap between the top three and the rest. So CSK, Zenit, and Spartak, you would imagine, are the sides that finish in the top three, which is fair. Then there's this sort of European chasing pack, which consists of fourth to ninth, Dinamo all the way to Akhmat. Krasnodar have really fallen off. They might,
You know, fourth, like Krasnodar has to be in there. All they need is one win and they're right back in it.
yeah, but right now, if you look at it, and I don't
No,
think
no,
that,
no, 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 no. If you're gonna break, look, if you're gonna break the teams into like categories, right? If you don't put Krasnodar in their chase for European spaces, you're gonna put them with Ural, Tambov, and Arsenal Tula, and that's just
yeah, I am. I don't
like
think
it's
Krasnodar are getting
false.
Europe this season.
How are you putting them in with Ural? They're
I'm
look,
not putting them. They're in a little small cube of their own.
no, you
Look,
can't. You have to categorize them somewhere.
No, they're not. They're in the league of
Yeah,
their
you
own.
have to. Look, Krasnodar are going to be fighting for Europe till the very
No, they are
last game of
not.
the season. Yes, they
No, they're not.
are.
You are out. There's 5 places, man. There's not 6 places. If it was 6 places, I
I
would
know. Are
probably
you,
agreed with you.
Hanny? Are you insane? It's a 5 point gap, and there's 17 games left.
So that has nothing to do with anything. Look, there's 5 better teams than them in the league.
Okay, hang on, hang on. We should do a little. Oh, do you want to do a little bit?
Okay.
If Krasnodar finish, I don't know. Like you said, they're not going to finish in Europe, and I guess that
Yeah.
just means that I have to say that they do. Okay,
Yes. That's
I
how
think
bad.
that. Okay, right. Five. Deal.
Fine. Fine. €5. I don't know how I'm going to pay it, but I will pay it. 2022, when we finally meet in Ireland, I'll pay you back. Right?
Okay,
€5. But
Dick.
listen, see why I say it because Spartak, Zenit, and CSK are definitely finishing in Europe. There is
Yeah,
no doubt about it, right? That's
yeah,
fine. You agree with that as well. Then you have Ruben Kazan, who don't have to deal with Europe and who have a really good, a really well balanced, a good, squad with lots of players. They can do it. Lokomotiv have struggled in the league as of recent, but depending on how they do in Europe, I think they'll be in it because Nikolic is the truth. He's gonna be on the thumbnail as well this week. Sochi, I don't think will sustain it. Rostov could, depending on how their new players, um, depending on the new players play. But like the only, I think Krasnodar will be in there. I think Krasnodar will finish above Akhmat, probably above Sochi in one of them. But I think these, you've got what, one, two, three, 4 teams, 5 teams competing for 2 spots, right? And I just don't think Krasnodar, with the injury problems that they keep having, unless they have a massive transfer window in the winter, I just don't see it happening. That's why.
okay. So what's the story then? We have 2 places in the league, 2 places. Oh no, sorry, 4 places in the league for Europe and one in the cup. But realistically, that's going to go to the league again.
Yeah, so
Uh,
it's the fifth.
yeah. So fifth. I don't know. See, I
No,
can see
actually, no, it's not.
Krasnodar
Ska
finish.
Khabarovsk winning the cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that just makes your bet even better. Um, but I just think like I'm sure that Krasnodar will finish top 6. I just don't know if they'll finish top 5, and that's I'm willing to take the risk. I
All
think
right.
that like Dinamo have a few dodgy results in them, so do Rostov, so do Sochi.
Yeah.
Ahmat are not going to stay up there.
No, they're not.
Ruben Kazan and Lokomotiv Moscow are the two like the real threats to Krasnodar's chances, I think. So
Nah,
we'll
that's
see.
fair.
It
Yeah, that's
really
fair. We'll
it really
see.
depends.
But what I am really happy about is this bottom 6 that we have over here. It's actually a bottom. Actually, really a bottom 7 is it? No, it is 6, isn't it? Okay, yeah, it's a bottom 6. You've got
Look,
Ural
you
Tambo.
actually were going to put Krasnodar in that bottom 7.
No, I told you. Okay, fine. You know what? Yeah, I am. What are you going to do about it? Right? So we've got Ural, which is great to see them. These 6 are basically going to be fighting it out. Rotor and Ufa, I think Ufa are gone. Ufa are gone. Okay. So who do you think is going to be in these bottom 4 places? I think Arsenal Tula will stay up. I hope Ural go down and never come back up. Um, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think the most likely scenario is I think Rotor will probably finish last. I think Ufa might pick up a point or two on the way that'll put them ahead of them, but I think Ufa will still get relegated.
Yeah.
Khimki and Tambov probably in 13th and 14th.
Right.
In the playoff places, and those playoffs will probably be good this season, considering like there's a big fight in the FNL
Yeah.
for the promotion places right now. With obviously Orenburg, Nizhny Novgorod, um, Kryla Sovetov, who else is in there? Torpedo Moscow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
It'll be fun.
I'd love to see some of them teams come up, but you know,
Definitely.
yeah, I think that's probably going to be the bottom 4. Um,
Nah, that's yeah, I agree. I think Arsenal Tula are a bit out of place here. I think their squad is just too good, and they even though they signed Parfanov, who's one of the most deadest managers you could imagine, no excitement when you think of that guy. I think he might just have enough to keep them up because the squad is just too good. That
I'd
team
be
with a
upset
decent
to
manager.
see I'd be upset to see Arsenal Tulla drop out if they were to
Yeah,
drop out. I think that they're like a real addition to the league. The teams that
they really are.
I could get rid of out of the league would be Tambov, Khimki, Rotter, and maybe like okay, like Ufa are probably gonna go down, but I prefer them to stay up.
Yeah, I would. I don't mind Ufa staying up, but I think they've just, with the departure of Gazizov, they've just dug themselves into this weird hole. They have nobody in their squad. That team would, it's a real FNL team. I don't think they're going to get very far in the league. So I don't mind them going down. I would like to eventually see them come back up and do their Moneyball thing again, but just not now. Let's move on to European football. Now, we're going to paint narratives again, right? The first narrative we're going to paint is that did we ever discuss if Nikolic was in the top three managers in the league?
I think we always said it was too early to call.
I don't think it's too early to call anymore. I think he's in there.
What, top three?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
It's hard to disagree with that because Lokomotiv Moscow right now, first week, what they did, they drew 2-2 to Red Bull Salzburg, great result. They lost 2-1 to Bayern Munich, fair result, played really well. And they finally got a result. They're the only club that's holding it down for Russia at the moment. All of us, me, Artem, everybody on that stream, everybody just predicted they would finish bottom. 24 goals conceded, no points, whatever. And they got a result against Atletico Madrid. Now, Atletico Madrid, of course, Joao Felix had a mad game. Guilherme was really good. They had luck on their side. They got a penalty. But I think, and with this squad, the things Nikolic is doing with this squad, this is not. Rajkovic had a mad one. We need to start respecting Rajkovic as well. He's been faultless in their two Champions League games.
Yeah, respect.
Um,
You know what though? Like I was only thinking last night, like Lokomotiv are performing the best out of all the Russian clubs in Europe. If someone heard us say that from the outside and saw that they had 2 points, you'd be like, Jesus, Russian football's fucking shit.
exactly. See, that's what we're gonna talk. That's what we're gonna talk about as well. We're gonna draw parallels with Turkey and berate the foreign limit a bit more. But you know what? To be fair, getting a result against Atletico Madrid, I think
No,
most teams in Europe
absolutely
would.
massive.
Yeah, it's
It's
absolutely
massive.
massive. Most teams in Europe would take that, I think.
The only one thing I'm super afraid of is that game against Salzburg.
They
Like
might turn up.
Lokomotiv ideally would have, I don't know, at least another point before that. I think they're playing Atletico once more. Is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just if like that game against Salzburg it decides. So I'm really scared because in those kind of decisive games, Russian football has a tendency to let us down. So
Yeah, it's a very polite way of putting it, but you are right. No, I think Salzburg have attacking quality, and they scored two against Bayern, they scored two against Atletico, scored two against Lokomotiv as well, actually. So they might turn up. Like they might have one
we
good
just need to
game.
break Shabashly's legs. That's
Yeah,
it.
that guy's too good. He's too good. But great result, and I think Nikolic deserves all the credit in the world. Um, that's all we have to say about Lokomotiv. What's your gut
No,
feeling?
can I say one more
Yeah,
thing
go on, go on.
About Nikolic?
Yeah,
I don't know if I've said this to you before, but he looks like some average like Russian rich person you'd see on the beach in like Bulgaria or something, just
yeah.
drinking beer after beer.
He's the
He doesn't
baldest
look like a
man I've
football
ever seen.
manager.
He has no hair. I don't think he has eyebrows either. He's the baldest man I've ever seen. Honestly, man.
And
And
the
I've,
shape of
I
his head is like an egg.
it is, and I've never heard his voice. It just feels like a little egg-shaped robot sitting on the bench and just
But look,
playing it.
besides all the aesthetic things about him, he's a great manager.
He's a fantastic manager, man. He's holding his own with a team that I think he's destined for the top, honestly. I can see him going to like a decent, because he's Serbian, right? It's not, you don't have that Russian thing. Serbian managers adapt well.
Yeah.
Uh, Yesterday I found out Slaven Bilic was at Lokomotiv at one point. He has had a pretty good career. So um, just like that. Real Madrid finally got a win. 3-2 against Inter Milan. That was quite a game, but we did it. We got there in the end. FreeMiranchuk.
Facts.
FreeMiranchuk. Aleksey Miranchuk scored against Midtjylland in their first Champions League game for Atlanta. He has not played a single minute of football since. And I think Atlanta have lost every single game that
No,
he's.
not every single game, but they've lost, I think, 3 out of 4 or
They've
something.
been horrible. They lost. Yes,
Yeah.
I mean it's Crotone. You don't care about Crotone. They're like the UFA of Italy. Lost
No, but that
five.
game was actually quite a big win for them anyway because it brought them back up to second place in the league. So, but they're fourth now.
Why
But
do you know that? You're actually following Atlanta. That's
yeah,
nuts.
I absolutely am following Atlanta. Why wouldn't I be following it? Like the thing is, right now, okay, this is now the Serie A Russian football podcast. Right
Yeah.
now, it looks like, you know, AC Milan look like the best team in the league up there. Like look at
Hmm.
Juventus, their last 5 games they've got 3 draws. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of those games, a game, it was just a given win because Napoli,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Juventus aren't in the greatest spot. I think like this season could be like the first time we see a different winner in the league. Although we say that every season,
Yeah.
and Juventus always put it out of the bag. But Atlanta are one of the teams that can challenge if they can get their form right. But right now, it doesn't look like they will. So I am following Atlanta properly. Like I really hope they do well, and I hope Miranchuk gets more minutes.
Yeah, that's true. And I would like to say the same for Eldor Shomurodov. He's he's in a bit of a tricky spot because he's played 2 games and then he's missed the. Well, he came in 4 games into the season, or 3 games into the season. He played a part in 2 of them. Then he's got like a little knock, so he hasn't played in the. He didn't play in a cup tie. Then he didn't play in 2 league games. And the issue is that the guy who's like their third choice striker is on a mad one. I think he scored in all of those games that he hasn't played. A guy called Skamaka. So we fear for Big Eldor, but I love that guy. I hope he does indeed get into some form and starts playing well again. If he isn't given a chance, we will start the free Shomurodov train as well. But for now, FreeMiranchuk is in full effect. Nobody can disagree with that. Moving back on to the Champions League, Zenit disappointed us again, and these are the two results: Istanbul Basaksehir beating United 2-1, and Zenit 1-1 with Lazio. I wanna really take a good look at two of these results. Right? Let's talk about the Zenit game first. 32 minutes in, Alexander Yerokhin. Both teams are depleted, by the way. Lazio had a lot of their key players out. They were pretty average to me yesterday. Zenit had a lot of their key players out. I think Semak's game plan worked well. I think he was pretty good. He got it right as well as he could have got. And Yerokhin scored. And for 81 minutes, my head was in dreamland. I was like, oh, Semak saved it. Lokomotiv got a good result. Krasnodar might have a chance. Russian football might be making it out the hood, might be good. And then Felipe Caicedo scored. Felipe Caicedo, by the way, was at Lokomotiv 9 years ago. Scored against Zenit then as well. But Atam, what's your initial reaction and why do you think Zenit drew this game? And what are your thoughts?
Russian football is really it's just painful, isn't it?
It
It's
really is.
always it's always giving you the little glimmer of hope that you're gonna
Oh,
take.
yeah.
Like it's the girl that's flirting with you in the park, and then like as you ask her on a date, she slaps you in the face. It's that kind of vibe where like
No, it really
they
is. It's
they
even worse
always
than that.
they're teasing you. Like the
Yeah.
Russian football's teasing you. It's like you say to yourself even after the Yerokhin goal, you're like, no, I'm not gonna get excited. I'm not gonna get excited. And then it gets to the 80th minute, you're like, oh my God, like maybe Zen are actually gonna get a win here. Maybe we're gonna be on 3 points and not 0 or 1. Maybe we're gonna be actually maybe we're gonna have a chance to get out of this group, whether it's the Champions League or the Europa League. And then that's when it hits. That's when your whole life is just ruined by Russian
Collapses.
football over and over again. The
Okay.
same thing
Every
happened with
week.
Krasnodar. You know, like you get them a massive glimmer of hope. They're two nil up in the first half.
And they
And
get
they
a man
break
sent off.
hearts.
They get a man sent. They get Jesus Navas sent off as well. So they're like
Yeah,
playing it
Jesus
10 men.
Navas got sent off. Yeah.
But getting back, of course, we're going to discuss Krasnodar at length as well. Alexander Rorokin, I think, is the GOAT. He's, for me, the Zenit player of the season so far. I'll say it. Dzyuba has 6 goals, Moon has 6 goals. I don't care. I think Yerokhin shows up um, all the time. I think he deserves a starting spot. I don't. Semak needs to find a way to fit him in. And Artem Dzyuba, I think, yeah, big man, whatever. But I threw the stat out there that he's played 17 games in Europe since he scored that famous hat trick against Dynamo Minsk, and he scored 4 goals. And most of those 17 games are 90 minutes, right? It's not like he's been subbed on in the last minute. Four
Yeah.
goals, and one of those goals was against Molde in like the playoffs just after the Minsk game. So
And
he
the other
scored
three were probably penalties.
the other three. One was against Bordeaux, one was against Benfica in a 3-1 win. Like, so Adam, I want to ask you, who first of all, who do you blame for the win, for the draw yesterday? And do you think Dzyuba is good enough to start at a Champions League level? Or actually, how many Zenit players do you think are good enough to start at Champions League level?
Okay.
First was, who do you blame? Let's start with that.
Who do I blame? I honestly don't know because it's one of these things where if you can figure how to keep Dzyuba quiet, you've neutralized Zenit.
Yeah,
I think that's a massive thing, and that's why it's such a massive problem when we don't have Azmoun, where we don't have Malcolm.
right.
There's no other threats, so it's like you figured Dzyuba out, so you figured Zenit out. So it's a pain that we have so many injuries. Like like I said, Malcolm, Azmoun, Drusi. Like you can't blame the injuries because Zenit looked like they were gonna win on the
When
day
they had,
anyway.
when Lazio had injuries, they have more injuries than Zenit.
No, 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 no. I
Yeah,
know. But it's I really don't know who to blame. Such a shame because like I love Dzyuba and I hope that he continues to be good. Like I hope he becomes the RPL top scorer of all time and the Russian top scorer of all time. But the only way he can do that is if Zenit can provide other threats than just him. Because if the team knows to focus just on defending Dzyuba, it's game over. Like
yeah,
it literally just is. So that's why we need to get the players back fit as quickly as possible. And I think if other teams are like shit, okay, we need to cover Malcolm, Drusi, Asmoon, that leaves a little bit of space for Dzyuba to kind of do what
yeah.
he does best, get some goals. Uh,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I think, see, I agree with you, but here's the thing, right? First of all, I'm not blaming Sergei Samak because I think he got his plan spot on yesterday. And Dzyuba was fine for a lot of the game. Like Zenit were winning for 81 minutes despite not having three of the best attacking players. Did we score first in the Bruges game or did they score first?
well, they scored first.
They scored first and then we equalized, right? So if you look at all three games, the common pattern you find is that there were preventable goals. That goal yesterday was preventable. Caicedo was completely free. Some bloke slipped as well. I mean, he slipped. You can't really blame him, but you shouldn't slip. That's it's dodgy defending. Then after that, Mostovo is the only player who's providing some attacking threat. Ozdoev is walking around. Dzyuba was offside in the most stupid manner possible in the end. In the Dortmund game, they defended really well. Of course, you're not going to attack Dortmund if you don't have all those players. Karavayev gives away a stupid penalty. The Ketelier goal against Zenit in the first game, that was preventable. I'm going to start blaming the players a bit more. I don't know what players exactly to blame, but I think some of these blokes, I think Barrios is great. He's always great. Yerokhin is stepping up. I think Yuri Zherkov still plays with dedication, even though he's 45 years of age. I think Lovren, even though I've hated him in the past, I think he really cares. He does his best in every game. You can see him being fired up. Mostovoy is probably the brightest spark in this team. But I just think like Semak is it's one dimensional, but even being one dimensional, I think his plans have been fairly good in all three of these games, but it's the players that have let him down. I don't know what you think of that, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you because they are all preventable goals. So I don't know. Maybe Zenit just aren't good enough to play in the Champions League.
That's the sad reality of it, I mean, I guess. And I think Wendell deserved to come on a bit earlier. He looked like he had just woken up at like 9 p.m., but whatever. Um, so the Basaksehir result, why I want to look at that before we go to the Krasnodar game, is because if you know, like Basaksehir beat Manchester United yesterday 2-1. And if you look at their background for a little bit, they were a club that were refounded in 2014. They have the government behind them, so they're like touted as Erdogan's club. They have government support, but they're not as rich as Zenit. They're not, as rich. They don't have that big of a budget. They're a club that won the league for the first time last year, and they reached the round of 16, I believe, of the Europa League as well. Um, and they keep overperforming. They're in a group with Leipzig, PSG, and Manchester United, and they keep holding their own. And we know, Artem, we know the Turkish league to be a league that has absolutely zero care for the foreigner limit. Every single player in the world is played in Turkey at one point. You have the most random players that you once packed on FIFA 14 playing in Turkey still, right?
Yeah.
And you look at Basaksehir's lineup. They have Gunok, Ozkan, Kavechi, and Turuk. These are the four Turkish players they have. They've got Rafael, Martin Skirtle, Epurianu, Boli Bolignoli, Wiska,
Bully, bully,
Dembaba.
bully, and bumbo.
It is the best name in football.
It is 100%.
And Dembaba up front. And the Turkish national team is not bad. It's as good as the Russian national team, as we saw. It's in like they're in the same pot. And this is why it just show. And this club won the league for the first time last year. Their strategy relies on signing like free agents and players that were good a couple of years ago, and they still win the league with that. You can say that the Turkish league is of bad quality, but what I will tell you is that Zenit have been winning the league for 2 years now and have not moved at all in Europe. And I think this is the most clear indication that the foreigner limit needs to be completely eradicated. Because you can see that Turkey is doing fairly well. They're a meme. Turkey is a meme in football because of how many players they have in that league. But you have a club that was founded 6 years ago showing tangible results, whereas Russia is just not with all the money, with all the stuff you have. So people are saying out there, oh, Russian players, they're getting their chances against Rotor and Khimki. Like, do you care about Rotor and Khimki when you're bottling to Lazio and all these clubs, honestly? Like, so that's why I think the limit needs to be eradicated. We know the limit needs to be eradicated, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you
Yeah.
think. Yeah, moving on. Sevilla Krasnodar. I didn't actually watch this game. I watched a little bit of it, but then my stream died and then I went to sleep for the second half. Artem, take us through this game.
Okay. So, about 10 minutes in, Shapi gives away a penalty. Okay. Turns out it wasn't a penalty.
Wow.
Fantastic for Krasnodar. Not 7 minutes later, Shapi, at the underhead of the pitch, scores a fantastic free kick. Not 4 minutes after that, penalty again. For an incident we thought was on Shapi, turned out to be on Berg. Berg converts the penalty. At this point, all Russian football fans are in dreamland. We're saying, look, Krasnodar are the ones that are going to get us out of the hood. But see, as I said earlier, it's that second that you have that belief that Russian football crushes it all down. Before the second half even started, Rakitic got a goal back. Then Jesus Navas got a red card. We're like, okay, kind of positive. We might be able to do this. Second half starts within 3 minutes. Not within 3 minutes at the start, but within 3 minutes of each other. 2 goals. Sevilla are up. And Krasnodar never looked like they had a chance after that. And that, kids, is how I met your mother.
Nah, it's mad because if you know what kind of player Ed Neseri is, he's the most target man merchant. I think he has like 3 goals for Sevilla signed last year, like signed in the January transfer window. So him scoring those 2 goals makes it a bit more fun, bit funnier, not bit more funnier. Um, but listen, Krasnodar still have a chance because Ren got shanked by Chelsea, 3-0, done with the quickness. How Wanderson and Clayson were back, Artem. How did they do?
Wanderson, when he came on, actually there was one moment where he got the ball and on the left hand side and cut in with, I can't remember, it was step overs or something. I was just like, my God, I've missed watching him so much.
So good.
Klaassen didn't really do much, but to be honest, like at that point in the game, there was not much to be done. So
Yeah. And Lopetegui was probably rattled like in the first half. He made 2 changes. In the first half, he just shanked off took off the left back and he took off the centre back as well. So he was worried at that point. It's not like Karuna were lucky or whatnot. So they bottled it anyway. And if you look at how bad France have been, let's have a look at let's hate on France a little bit. French football is apparently about to die, Artem, is what the streets are saying. And I'll tell you why they're saying that. Marseille, 3 games played, 3 losses, 0 goals scored. They're the Lokomotiv of France.
And
They're going to
AVB said that they were shit. Their own
their
manager.
manager said that they were shit. He wants to move to Zenit. That's why he's saying that. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Um, Rennes, 1 point. Krasnodar, right? Okay, Krasnodar, are they getting out or not?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because I think Krasnodar will pick up more points than Rennes
Right.
in the remaining games. Rennes got Dalbert sent off yesterday. Camavinga's injured until the last game of the Champions League. So
Right.
I think by that stage, Krasnodar may have been able to pull a few points out of the bag.
I think Krasnodar are going to beat Sevilla at home as well, actually. With all the
Oh,
players. No, see, you know why I say that? Because Sevilla's record away in Russia is quite bad.
okay.
It's bad. And Krasnodar record at home against Spanish clubs is decent. And they'll have all their players back. We've seen that Sevilla are vulnerable. So I think they might do well there. And Rennes, that's going to be really important. I think that might be the last or the second last game. That could be huge. And that's going to be at home as well. So that's massive. Who else is from France? PSG are from France. They reached the final of the Champions League last year, but their squad looks like Southampton. So French football is about to die, and apparently, like let's go to GFFN for a minute. What I'm trying to say is that if Russia was good, the difference in the coefficient with France as well would have gone down. But yeah, let's look at this. French football is in turmoil. Broadcaster won't pay the money. An embarrassment in the Champions League. Boardrooms in major clubs either dysfunctional or locked in civil war. Still no effective COVID-19 policy, and the French Football Federation dogged by internal scandal. This looks like Russia.
Yeah, not far off.
Not far off, right? And we could have just imagine, man, if Caicedo didn't score, the coefficient gap, just pain, man. All there is pain. All there is pain. What else have we had? Have we done with Krasnodar?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Krasnodar anymore.
We will not talk about Krasnodar anymore. Let's talk about something great. Euro 2021. Some reports came out saying that, of course, we knew that the Euro 2020 was gonna be held all across Europe, and then COVID-19 came in, ended that, and now Le Parisien is reporting that it could be held exclusively in Russia, and this is like probably the best news of the year, honestly. But again, it might be that little hope thing. It gives you the hope. Then you're going to find out it's going to be held in stupid England again, and the final will be in Wembley again.
I believe.
You believe?
I believe. I
I
believe.
believe.
I believe. I believe. I think that, like England, I think a lot of countries would criticize England for their clearly bad COVID strategy. Now, you know, countries may not know that Russia also has not a great COVID strategy, but they don't criticize them as much. And I think that for that reason, Russia's probably likely to host it because even like Russia's always had fans in stadiums and everything else. The
Mm-hmm.
Euros are probably the UEFA are probably thinking, look, we've already sold like X amount of tickets. We just won't go. We won't go with the further rounds, round 2 and 3 of the ticket sales, and we'll just let the people who already have their tickets into the stadium and just that's it. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
It'll be huge though. I would smuggle myself into like Khabarovsk and then make my way all the way to, if international. I think international
Well,
travel
I'm
will be
going. I'm
allowed to
going for
China.
sure. Like if it's held in Russia, I'm going for sure.
Yeah, I'll try
I'll
really
find a way
hard
to
to.
go. I already have a ticket to St. Petersburg for the quarterfinals. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll be done with like school as a whole. So it'll be like that little period when you don't have school but you don't also have uni. So I'll be completely free. So I'll hope to go as well. That'd be massive. Be
Yeah, you
massive.
got to
Be
meet us
absolute.
over there.
Got to be the RFN meetup, the RFN 5 aside, whatever this is live podcast. This is going to be great. This is going to be great. So everybody start praying. Start praying that it is held in Russia. And we hope to see you guys over there. Artem also wanted to talk about this little story over here. Number four on the Moscow Times list, Artem. This you were really anxious to talk about this. Go on.
Russia's sausage king murdered with crossbow.
In his sauna as well. That was in the BBC headline. So take us through this, man. Just take us through it. It is a
Okay,
sad story.
I'm
Rest
not
in
gonna
peace.
lie, I only read the headline.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty clear what happened. Even
Yeah,
if
like
you,
it doesn't leave much room for imagination, you know.
yeah. Um, Rest in peace, first of all. But
Rip,
rip,
rip in
that's
peace.
rip, rip in peace. But that's just a wild headline, honestly. Just an absolutely wild headline. What else we got? Daler Kuzyaev was on the shortlist to Bayern Napoli this summer. He rejected offers from Rangers because he wanted to move to a top five league. And this stupid agent claims that Bayern would have signed Kuzyaev. They sold Mikel Cuisance. And he also said in this same interview, this random agent, that Spurs were interested in Artem Dzyuba and that Genoa and Udinese were looking at Shapi. How much of this is cap, Artem?
It's not cap. Kuzyaev was there, you know. It's literally just if Kuisen's left, we would have seen him. That's the whole reason that he didn't sign for anyone else. He was waiting for Bayern to come up, and you know, unfortunately, it didn't happen in the end. But yeah, he would be undoubtedly one of Bayern's top players. He'd be a Champions League winner this season.
Right. And how do you, what about Napoli?
Napoli would have been cool.
I think Napoli would have been legitimate and it would have been cool. Because Rangers would have been good at this point. Like Watford would also interested in him, but I would not want to see anyone in the championship. I won't wish that on anyone. Um, so that's not great. But this agent really had his 15 minutes of fame. Adam, just make up a random rumor real quick. Just make up any rumor. Russian club, Russian. Just make up a rumor.
Russian whiz kid Andrei Mostovoy is being tracked by Manchester United, Chelsea, and Lazio.
Right, there it is. I'm going to tweet that out later today. But
Okay.
that's funny. That is funny. By the way, this is off topic. This is a rumor that I would like to see. I think Wilmar Barrios is the perfect Atletico Madrid player.
Yeah, but so they won't take him.
Okay, let's just quickly move on. I've been told to shut up, and I will shut up now. The next little tidbit we have is Galatasaray are planning to sign. They're planning to strengthen the Hulk and Musa, but they're planning to sign Hulk and Ahmed Musa. Ahmed Musa just became a free agent. He was in the U. Was he? No, he was in Saudi Arabia. Just became a free agent. And Hulk said a while ago that he's going to leave China after the end of this season, which is I think in a couple of weeks, maybe I think a month at max. First of all, fuck Galatasaray. Second of all, Artem, would you like to see these blokes back where they belong in Russia?
Yes, but at the same time, I think Russian football has moved past them,
No,
which is no, it has.
it hasn't.
It has. If
It
Musa
hasn't.
moved back to CSKA, I don't think he'd start. And if Hulk moved to Zenit, he probably would start, but he wouldn't be the same player. And it's one of these things where, you know, we've seen it so many times. You either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. And you know, the Hulk is still a superhero for now.
Hulk is the Brazilian Ibrahimovic. I think he would still be really good.
I really don't think so.
Yeah,
Ibrahimovic is always trying to get like better, and he's always constantly training and everything. Hulk loves a little bit of a party, so I think Hulk's decline is going to be much quicker than Ibrahimovic.
just typed in Huck.
Hulk.
Nah, I'm gonna see.
Miranchuk came up, both of them.
There should be four actually.
Yeah.
Welcome
Welcome
and
and
Jambalat.
Jambalat.
See, he's good, man. He's still
Wow, what a
good. You hating? Look at that. Look at that, man. Look at that. He's good. He would still do a job in. Look at Wagner Love. Wagner Love was supposed to be signed by CSKA. Now he's balling in Kazakhstan. He just won the Kazakh League with Kairat. He's going to play Champions League football next
Yeah, well,
season,
maybe
right?
Hulk should move there too.
No. Okay, Ahmed Musa or Adolfo Gaich?
Adolfo Gaich. Right now. Like, the thing is, you're not realizing that Ahmed Musa, okay, when he played at CSKA, he was a forward, but he also played a lot on the wing. So, like, it's not Adolfo Gaich that you're comparing him to. It's what's his name?
CSK don't even do wingers
It's
anymore.
Dzyuba. Wait, hang on. Ahmed Musa's 28.
Wait,
I thought he
what?
was 32.
Yeah, so did I. Wait, and lies.
Okay, well then in that case maybe. Fucking hell.
I swear he was like
Okay,
30 when he moved
either
to.
way, I don't think he's good enough to play for CSKA right now, but damn, it might be worth a shot.
Al Nasser paid 16.5 million for this guy, man. That's insane. Nah, it might be worth a shot, honestly. I want to see him back in Russia, man. I would like.
I retract my statements. Look, I still don't think that I don't think he's gonna go, and I don't think he'd be good enough. But he's worth a shot for sure.
Yeah, but no, just imagine, just imagine. You're gonna have, because CSK are also like Zenit. They just play with 8 midfielders. They don't have like a second plan. So imagine Chalo up front, Ejuke on the left, Musa on the right, or the other way around. Vlasic in behind, and then two of their midfielders. Tell me that isn't good.
It is. It really is.
It is, isn't it? See, I've turned you. Finally, I've managed to turn one of your
Can't be.
opinions. Just take the L, is all I'm gonna say. Um, but okay, here's another question, just for the sake of it. If you could have one past RPL player in their prime back, who would it be? It would be Hulk, but apart from Hulk.
One past RPL player.
I mean,
In the
yeah, Hulk is like the obvious answer, right? If you don't say Hulk, you're lying.
I don't think he's the obvious answer.
Come on. All right, who is
Okay.
it?
Hang on, I want you to guess who it is. Who do you think I'm thinking of? Because
I would have,
I think mine is the obvious answer actually.
I would have said Hulk, honestly. But you're gonna say Witzel, then I guess.
No, I'm saying Andrei Arshavin. He was the sixth best player in the world at one stage.
Sure. I guess Russian, you would have to go with Andrei Arshavin.
But like, if you're talking about current scenarios and everything else, okay, right. Not that the limit would matter for a player like Hulk, but like Arshavin is Russian, probably one of the best Russian players of all time. In his prime, he was unbelievable. Like
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
he's everything that Zenit are missing right now.
That's a fair answer. I was like, my mind was just catered towards thinking foreign players, but now that you say R7, it's a pretty fair answer, so I'm not going to go against it. Um, we have one more story, guys, and then we have an exclusive interview from a player, and we're gonna make you wait for a little bit, right? We're gonna give you some teasers, but we're not gonna give you the entire interview because the entire interview will go up on RFN, but there will be talking points that come out of that interview, and we hope it does well. But before that, Grzegorz Krychowiak has a new business. He's selling cereal and berries and quinoa and dates and oatmeal and all of that. Artem, what are your thoughts? Are you gonna buy BioGoal?
Yeah,
BioGoal.
I mean, if I could, I would. I highly rate it. Um, like he's clearly okay. Maybe this isn't so clear, but he's clear. For me, it's clear. It's clear that he's starting to hedge his bets for when he retires, and I think that he's doing it in the right way. Like respect to him. I love it when footballers start businesses, and you know, they're gonna get sales just because of his name. So
He's a businessman, not a businessman. I didn't say it as good as Jay-Z said it, but I still said it.
he's a businessman, not as in he's a business.
Do you not know that line?
No,
What kind of Jay-Z fan are you?
he's a
How
business.
do you?
I know what you're trying to say, but I'm trying to figure out if it's he's a
No,
business
he's a whole
man, not a
business.
businessman.
No, he's a whole business. He's not a
Yeah,
man.
so yeah. So that's what I thought you were saying. He's a business man,
How do you
not a
not?
businessman.
How do you not know that line? What kind of Jay-Z fan are you? Yeah, see, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. I don't know where he said it, but he did say it. It is a famous Jay-Z quote. Um,
Maybe we need Jay-Z in the RPL.
I've said it for a while, and I got laughed out of the room at one point. I want to see Jay-Z own a football club, or just like any of those rappers that have mad money. I want to see Kanye West own a football club.
Oh, I can't imagine it happening. First of all, I feel like that the only times that ever happens is when those people have an actual genuine interest in football. You
You
know?
know what? Yeah, but like if I ever become really like wealthy and if I have connections with rappers, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go to like every major rapper like Nas and DJ Khaled and them, and I'm gonna pitch them to start an MLS club of their own, and it would sort of be endorsed by them, would be owned by them. Imagine the cultural impact that would have on both cultures, because it's an MLS club.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to have like a t-shirt or a football jersey endorsed by like Nas and designed by like Virgil Abloh or Kanye West or something for the same price, obviously, for like the regular football jersey price? That would be insane.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
mean it's
even.
kind of like the Jordan
Yeah,
ex-PSG
it's
thing.
like Jordan and it's even bigger though. That's the thing. But I mean, they do. They've said these rappers. They say that they want to own NFL and what NBA clubs. And I think eventually someone's going to realize that the MLS is just as attractive and big of a prospect, but it's cheaper. So I
Yeah.
hope that happens. Um, if you could buy any football club in the world, what would it be? I'm
Any
just
football club in the
yeah, I'm just
world.
throwing out all of these questions today.
I actually one of my things I've always wanted to do is own Krasnodar and bring them back to Europe and all that stuff. But I was only speaking to my mates the other day, and what we I don't know if you ever heard the story, but you know the way like Wimbledon became MK Dons and like the
Yeah,
actual Wimbledon had to restart. So before they became MK Dons, they were actually going to become Dublin Dons.
really.
And Dublin were going to have a team in the Premier League. So if I could, like, if it was feasible for me to make a football team in Dublin that played in the Premier League, 100%, one hundred
Hmm.
percent, that would be it. But um, if not, Krilic aren't too expensive to buy. I believe. I think that the club market value is like 5 or 6 million. So if
The whole
anybody
club.
who if any billionaires slash millionaires, multimillionaires are listening, Krilic, get me in as director.
Yeah, no, I've said it before. If I ever get money, I'm gonna buy either Anzhi or Skaka. Like if I have enough money to the point where I won't get bankrupt if those clubs go bankrupt again, like I'm gonna buy them and I'm gonna take them back to Europe. Why not?
For
Why
sure,
not?
man. For sure.
Why not? But I would buy Skaka or Anzhi. Like anyway, this week we have a really interview. You're
Okay.
recording, Artem. We're back. We're back. We're back. Stop talking, Artem. Okay, right? We're back, and we have an interview. We have a really. This is the first exclusive interview we have on this podcast. We've read out a lot of interviews, and this one was conducted by myself. So there's not going to be any weird questions about crime and eating dogs and stuff like that. But this
Well, you
interview
say
is
that.
yes,
You
go
say
on.
that, but there is parts about crime from what you've told me.
That's the other guy. Art, no, as no. Gael Ondoua is a 25-year-old Cameroonian
Okay, you want to
footballer.
start again?
No, I don't want to start again.
Okay, fine,
I
whatever.
don't want to start again.
I,
You've
I,
ruined my flow, but it's fine, okay? Artem is just basically broken another interview we might have in the future. So stay tuned for that. It's just think what ex-RPL footballers would involve crime in it. Maybe we're interviewing Kokorin and Mamayev, but basically we've got half an exclusive interview on this podcast. This interview is going to go up on Russian Football News, I think, in the coming 2 or 3 days, and it is with Gael Ondoua. Now Gael Ondoua is a Russian Cameroonian player. He's 25 years old. He's a defensive midfielder. He grew up in Moscow. He's Played for CSK, played for Lokomotiv, played all over. He played for Anzhi as well, which is an interesting part we're going to speak about. And he's currently in Switzerland, and we managed to catch up with him and talk about his time at Anzhi, his time playing with Anton Miranchuk and them, his time at Loko, his time at CSK, and all that is going to be in the RFL interview, which is going to be up in a couple of days. And apologies for me putting this up on wordcounter.net. But Artem, let's start, right? Let's start reading. Do you want to be Ondua or do you want to be me?
I'll be you. It looks easier.
All right. Let's start. We've got 3 questions for you guys.
You recently said that you would be honored to come back to Russian football and play for the national team, given you got a call up. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, Russia is my second home. It's the country where I became a man and most important milestones of my life took place in Russia. I am fully integrated into the Russian way of life and I'm well versed in both the customs and language. The Russian Championship is a great league that plays at a very high level and is quite attractive to many players such as myself. I am willing to give everything that I have to fight for whatever club or country considers me to be a valuable part of the team. Personally, it would be the best thing for me to finish my career in Russia. It's a country that has given me a lot and one that still provides for me and my family. Let's discuss this for a bit. Artem, what are your thoughts on Dua? Of course, he has a passport, so the limit won't affect him and all that. He's not capped for Cameroon. What are your thoughts on how much of him do you remember playing at Anzhi or Loko or hearing about him? And would you like to see him play for Spornaya or back in the RPL? Honest opinion, we don't need to.
I do not remember. I'm not gonna lie. I think that he played for Anzhi and Loko at times where I was probably not watching as much Russian football as I do now. So,
right.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what quality he is, but if he's got a Russian passport and he's playing abroad, look, come back. I'm sure there's some team that would take it for sure, at least for a trial. So I'd love to see him come and play. And if he's gonna play for the national team as well, that's fantastic. If Churchev thinks he's good enough.
Yeah, no, I think he would. I think he would definitely do a job in the RPL because there's lots of clubs and the Russian passport. Because on transfer market, the thing is, a lot of people rely on transfer market, but on transfer market it says that he only has a Cameroonian passport. So people might just not know that because, even in professional circles, transfer market is used a lot. So we're actually breaking the story officially that he has a Russian passport. So hopefully that gives him a move back to Russia. Second one we're going to talk about is Anzhi. So Adam, go on with the question.
While you were at Anzhi, the club was embroiled in some serious administrative difficulties and financial issues. Did you ever encounter any issues during your time at Makhachkala?
I came back to Russia in the summer of 2018 as an Anzhi player. The club was brought to the forefront of the football world thanks to their accomplishments in the early 2010s with players like Diarra, Eto'o and Willian. When I signed, I really had no idea about the financial situation at Anzhi. Otherwise, I would not have signed for the club. That season was very difficult due to the lack of pay and tough conditions on and off the pitch. There was a lack of care, a lack of food, and we had to spend 24 hours on buses to get to games and then 24 hours on the way back. Despite everything, I had to remain calm and focused. As they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I also like Nelson Mandela's motto, either I win or I learn. Now, this was probably the question closest to those ones that we read. But it's just funny to me, a poor team having to spend 24 hours on a bus to reach a game.
That's insane.
Anzhi really is the hood.
I did not realize he played in Russia that recently.
He did. He left. He was in the Loko academy and then he went to CS. You can just look at it here, right? So he left CSK in 2015, then spent some time in Denmark, spent some time elsewhere. Then 2018-19, he came to Anzhi for a year. He actually was in the first team for most of the games.
That's mad. Okay, well then I'm just stupid.
A fraud. You're a fraud.
Yeah.
You're a fraud. But guys, the full interview is going to be on RFN in just a couple of days. He talks. It was a really interesting interview, and shout out to Gael, shout out to his agent, and all of that. So do stay tuned for that. And Adam, have you got anything else to discuss? We do have an RPL weekend, so let's just discuss the final RPL weekend really shortly before we end it. Sochi, Ufa, okay, which one of these games? Oh wow, well, this is a big weekend.
Big week.
CSK, Rostov, Dinamo, Loko, and Zenit, Krasnodar. That's mad.
Sunday is fun day.
Sunday is the day. Why have they
Yeah.
timed them so weird though? I don't want these two games to be at the same time.
Yeah, it's because in Russian football, the planning tends to be awful.
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 Top
We
to
all know
bottom.
TV schedules
Yeah.
are trash.
All no TV schedules are trash. But right. What are you predicting for CSK Moscow? Who's gonna win? I mean CSK Rostov.
CSK win.
Okay, Dinamo Loko.
Draw.
Draw Zenit Krasnodar.
Draw.
Draw. Okay. This could be a really fun week because Zenit Krasnodar games are always fun. But we got anything else, or also it's time to wrap up?
I think that's it. I think it's GG for the week.
GG for the week. Guys, it's been great. Obviously, we hope you enjoyed this podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Of course, get involved. We're trying to make the podcast as good as ever. We're going to hopefully get some guests on soon to create some content around the European games and so on. And give us a like on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, interact on Twitter, become a fan on Sportrex. We're up to 20 fans. We're massive. And Artem, you got anything else?
No, that's it. Like Annie said, give us a subscribe on any platform that you're listening to us. And
Yeah.
guess we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.